What?
Whoa! What are we doing here?
You told me to intro.
All right, you can intro.
What do you mean?
We're having fun tonight. We're doing a mock draft. No, we're not restarting. This is staying in. It is episode 1264 of Fantasy Football RPG, and we are still figuring out how to intro the show. That's fun.
Look, when you tell me I get a chance, Mike, I try and take that chance, and you just railroad me. So what are we gonna do here? I'm just the sidekick in your show. You're the hero, Mike.
Oh,
I understand. Man. I know my place.
Man. All right. I tell you what, you can intro all of the shows we do next week. So if you're listening, be sure to like and subscribe to catch Evan's new intro. But one quarterback, rookie mock draft, 4 rounds. Evan, it is time. We still have one robot in here. Corey, we miss you. We love you. Tom Brady will not be available. We're doing this, and let's ride.
All right. So hopefully we have a pretty chalk 101 here. We'll see, Mike.
Yep.
You know, it's always fun when the first person doesn't have the little green circle.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not seeing any circles because I'm on desktop, so I'm just hoping that that's just its thing doing its thing. But let's talk through some hypotheticals while we wait for Dawson to make his pick. Is there a world, let's say Omarion Hampton goes 106 to the Raiders, Ashton Genty goes much later to a place that seems a little more crowded. Is there a way that Hampton could jump over, or even a way it's one quarterback. Cam Ward wouldn't jump. But is there a way Hampton could jump?
Ooh, man, Hampton. Where would he have to go? If he goes to the Broncos? And
let's say Genty. I've seen Daniel Jeremiah do this mock a couple of times. Genty goes to the Jets. And Hampton goes anywhere good.
Wow. Yeah, that would be quite tough. At that point, probably be trying to trade off of the 101 and just let someone else make that pick. But sure, I mean, you can see a realm of possibilities where Genty falls to 2. We're going Travis Hunter early here. He must be playing wide receiver, Mike. Must be playing wide receiver. So that's what we're going to go with. I'm still going with my second player in the draft here, Marion Hampton. I think he's very clearly right behind Genty as the second wide receiver or second running back. Gosh, I'm thinking wide receiver because Travis Hunter just came off the board. I was so shook from that selection here. Now we got our good buddy P over here, you know, sitting at the 105 in a one quarterback draft. So that is something to remember here.
Yep. How did the tiers break with a super flex versus a one quarterback mock draft? Like, how does that change where you think those tier breaks are?
Super flex Cam Ward gets pushed into the grouping with Tet and Hampton. So you have Genty, you have Hampton, Tet, Cam, and then you have the tier break to that next grouping of running backs, of wide receivers. And to me, that tier is just a giant cluster. You start looking at Egbuka, you start looking at Henderson, Travis Hunter, assuming that he's going to play over 50% of the snaps on offense. Luther Burden, who seems to be falling in drafts right now, Quinshon Judkins, and then Caleb Johnson, along with in any premium. Like if you say there's no premium, all right, fine, kick Tyler Warren out of that tier. But if there's any premium whatsoever, Tyler Warren deserves to also be in that tier with them. So I think that grouping right there is
messy.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's also messy at the back half of the first.
Yep. Listen, I could understand how that would work. There's not that many players that still excite you. I would still go with Warren. I'd still go with Golden. I'd still like Colston Loveland, Trey Harris. There's a couple of names here that I would take over the quarterbacks. look, if you're at the back half of the first, you just won your Dynasty championship, you're probably not looking for a new quarterback. So take swings on high upside players. I think that's somewhere that Travis Hunter could fall as people are worried about what it looks like, but we'll see. Oh man, McSkeets killing us.
He's in multiple RPG leagues, so we will. Yeah. Figured that out. But look, Mike, is it really that bad? Because Jalen Miller has rushing upside, and what do people love? And you suck.
I'm not letting you get that for free. For the audio only listeners, so the first round went Ashton Genty, Travis Hunter, Omarion Hampton, Tet McMillan, Emeka Egbuka, Travion Henderson at the first half, Luther Burden, Quinshon Judkins, Caleb Johnson, the two projected first round quarterbacks in Cam Ward and Shadur Sanders, and Tyler Warren to end the first. And then to start the second round, we went with Matthew Golden, Colston Loveland, who's an auto pick, but I fixed the auto pick so that
I would have definitely taken Colston Loveland had somebody actually taken a swing at Jalen Milroe,
Absolutely
being the rushing quarterback. Figure you can sit on him for a couple years. Trey Harris, look, he's been falling in a lot of mock drafts, which is it's concerning, but you still love his analytical profile. You still love what he brings to a team. I got to believe in the numbers, and I got to believe that an offense that's going to take him is going to know what his skill set really is. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to go with. The Isaiah Bond pick, Mike, with the old RPG commissioner, still RPG commissioner in a lot of leagues.
Yep.
With Corey.
I wonder, Corey's been very busy at his job. He probably remembers Isaiah Bond from October, who looked like a smash first round pick and everyone's favorite receiver. Lots changed over the last couple of months. I have not seen a mock draft with Isaiah Bond, even in the top 2 rounds. So I think draft capital is going to crush him. I think people's perception is going to crush him. Cam Scatabo, great pick there. I'm going to go with another running back who I absolutely love, RJ Harvey. Look, I'm a sucker. You're fast, you're explosive, you're for me. And that's RJ Harvey.
All right, Mike. RJ Harvey is basically breaking out his cane as he's coming into the NFL. But That is quite the choice.
He is a converted quarterback, so we have to give him a little bit of leeway and love there. But, 2 great picks here. Harold Fannin Jr., I am his biggest hater, but that's okay. I will bear that cross with honor. And Alec A.O. Manor. Look, the computer's having a great draft. No complaints.
Not a single complaint. No, Mike. Jackson
Look,
Dart. Okay. The 212 and
I think that's a fair-ish place to take him.
Sure. You can see a world of opportunity where that ends up being the case. You can see how that ends up playing out. McSkeets, man. You're active in the RPG leagues.
We believe. But talk to me about the Dylan Sampson pick at the 3-1. How would you feel about that?
I mean, I feel good. Dylan Sampson's probably going to be an early day 3. Fine, Mike. It's a rushing quarterback. It's a rushing quarterback. Yeah. All right. He is a rushing quarterback. Dylan Sampson. Yeah. He's a Tennessee running back who Cooper Mays said has more juice and is a better overall runner than what they previously had there in Jalen Wright. So that is something to consider as well. He knows how to weave between an offensive line. He has the vision to be able to find the holes. What else do you want to say on it?
I want to say I saw this wild stat from Hayden Winks over at Underdog. Dylan Sampson faced who's 3rd or 4th and less than 2 yards to go 36 times this last season. Would you like to guess how many times he converted it?
32.
33. That's bonkers.
Okay.
That's good for me.
Knows
I'll
how to
take that.
position his body, knows how to see a
Yep.
hole, knows how to get skinny through it.
We will take that every day of the week. Next
Right.
up, you took Arroyo, your
Yes.
sweet prince.
Everybody knows that I love Arroyo at this point. I love his athleticism. I love what he brings. Oh man, Corey. Yeah, you're hurting me here.
No, well, too late.
Yeah. We're just gonna let that one fly. But I love his athleticism. I love what he brings to the ability to stretch the field from the tight end position. I love the ability to get the ball in his hands and let him get upfield, be able to pick up that quick 5-6 yards by just exploding up the field, because that is the level of athleticism that he has. I think he has a little bit more athleticism than Isaiah Likely, who most people think is a relatively athletic tight end, which I appreciate. If he can be able to be used in a relatively similar role, hopefully with a little bit more production, a little bit more usage, that would be awesome. And in the third round, how can I not take a swing at somebody like that?
Yeah, we'll take that. So to recap, the second round, we have Matthew Golden at the 2-1, Colson Loveland at the 2-2, Trey Harris at the 2-3, Ollie Gordon at the 2-4, Jaden Higgins at the 2-5, Isaiah Bond. That's tough. Then Devin Neal, Cam Scatabo, RJ Harvey, Harold Fannin Jr., Alec A. Manor, and Jackson Dart. No complaints with the second round, really, other than the Isaiah Bond pick. But Corey, we love you. And then the third round, look, that's the time to start swinging on some quarterbacks if you really need them in a one quarterback league. It's the time to swing on some high upside running backs, some wide receivers that may have fallen. I have no complaints about any of the picks in the third round other than Quinn Ewers.
All right. I'm going to continue my trend here with tight ends that are on the rise. Terrence Ferguson.
Yep.
Look, people like him after the combine a lot more than they did before the combine. I think he has some artificial dynasty value because of that, on top of having gone to Oregon, and people just know the name. They've seen him there. They've seen him on the national stage. They've seen many Oregon games where he has been a production guy. You look at him, he's got relatively soft hands. He can be able to use his leverage. There's multiple things to like. And in the fourth round, with some kind of premium, sure, I'll take a swing on another tight end there.
Yep. Something that I love about doing these mocks in March is that it just lets me see what could be if we were able to draft before the NFL draft actually happens. We're recording this so that people drafting can't see this. Why is Jalen Knoll still available?
Probably because nobody's scrolled down far enough to find him.
What are we doing, guys? He's in conversation for the end of round one. He's definitely going to be a day 2 pick at worst. Fast, separates. I know that I'm always preaching take the running back, and I do have LaQuint Allen as a backup choice, but it's like everyone just forgot that he is here.
I thought you were going to go with your sweet prince, Mike. You know, Gunnar Helm.
There's Gunnar Helm. There's Kyle Monungai. There's LaQuint Allen.
Okay.
But please don't take Donovan Edwards unless you're a Michigan fan and he goes to the Chargers.
But look, Mike, even then, Donovan Edwards, he does not have a place in the NFL.
I have an honest question for you.
Okay.
All right. Who has a longer NFL career, Donovan Edwards or Khalil Mullings?
Mullings. I thought you were going to go with Rocket Sanders, being honest. And I was very prepared to say Rocket Sanders.
That would have been funny. But all right. Recap the fourth round. We have Brashard Smith at the 4-1, Tez Johnson at the 4-2. If you guys want more info on Tez, check out our player profile on him. Terrence Ferguson at the 4-3, Torrey Horton at the 4-4, Kyle McCord, Aronde Gadsden, Jarquez Hunter, Donovan Edwards, Jalen Knoll, Dylan Gabriel, Woody Marks, and Mr. Cordero Patterson, Savion Williams. Evan, what was your favorite team that is not your team?
Ooh, Mike. All right. Favorite team that is not mine. I mean, it seems pretty easy to say Dawson because Golden still has plenty of upside and ADV from the fantasy community. We're talking in Superflex drafts, which maybe there's going to be 3 first-round quarterbacks. We'll see how that plays out at this point. But Golden's somebody that's talked about in Superflex drafts of being a first-round pick, and in that conversation of the 1-9 to 111 range. So to see him go here in a 1 QB draft at the 2-1, that's awesome. That's great value in my opinion. Dylan Sampson, I love Tennessee running backs. Call it a pseudo homerism pick here, being over in Nashville. Brashard Smith, he's somebody that people like. He has the speed to burn. He once again has this artificial value that people seem to be associating with it. And how can you not love a draft that gets Genty?
No, that's fair. If I had to pick a team, obviously whoever picked from the 9 slot, very smart, very handsome. But Colin from the 8 spot crushed it. You guys should go check out his work. Colin McTamani. I would have to look up how to search it, but I'm just going to include a link underneath the episode so you can go find him. Look, you get a physical specimen in Judkins at the 8. You get a physical specimen in Scatabo at the 2-8. You get a swing on Jalen Royals, who might be something, might not be. It's the 3rd round. Who cares? And Donovan Edwards, it's a name that people know. He has a couple of big games. You might be able to flip him for anything, even if it's just a preseason game where he shows some life, which is where he could because he's very fast. So that does it for today's episode. If you made it this far, be sure to like and subscribe. That way you can check out all of Evan's intros next week. Look, short, sweet, to the point. I had a blast. I hope you had fun, Evan.
I did. Mike, what was one of your major takeaways from this draft? Because mine is that 1 QB leagues, much like Superflex this year, these drafts are going to be wild. We're talking about people that are going to be player takey, and it's going to start with player takes coming in probably at that 201. Like, we are not going to get very deep out of this draft before people start planting their flag saying this is the guy.
Yep. I think there's no more, especially in a lot of the RPG leagues, like very good at what they do. They dive into the film. They check out breakdowns. They check out breakdowns from other channels. When you combine all of those things, they have a picture of what a player is in their head. Normal leagues, they'll head over to the Football Guys Rookie Guide, which rules, by the way, go check that out. They'll check out Keep Trade Cut ADP. They'll check out Fantasy Calc ADP. Go check them out. They rule. And they'll just have this list and they'll just go, all right, that's the next name. Click. Now it's, 110. People are just picking people. We saw Bayshal Tootin go in the early 2nd in one of our super flex mocks. We've seen, Corey took Isaiah Bond. Like, Isaiah Bond could rule. He could turn back into the player that we saw at the beginning of the season. Or he could be the Isaiah Bond that people think of now. Like, who's to say? And I think once you get out of players with 1st or 2nd round draft capital with good landing spots, it's going to be the wild, wild west. And it's going to be a blast.
It's going to make for some great volatility, and I am here for it, Mike. There's a couple leagues that in 3-4 rounds, I think I have like 16 picks. Like, I am here for it. I love this season. It's one of my favorite times of the year. The only thing that beats it, Mike, is the start of college football season.
Man, and we can't wait to see your college football breakdowns on this channel as the season goes on. But you know where to find us. Evan, I love you. Good night, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Football RPG Podcast. If you made it this far, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to check out written content, head over to lastwordonsports.com.
Don't let the Goblins get you.